Corn School is brought to you by BASF and Pride Seeds.
Pradasara Bajracharya, field crop pathologist with Manitoba Agriculture, joins us here on Real Ag. And Pradasara, Goss's wilt has been a disease that's found in corn in Manitoba a few years ago already. What are we seeing in terms of distribution and occurrence of this disease here north of the border?
So Goss's wilt was first found in Roland, Manitoba for the first time. And ever since we've done a little bit of surveying. And we also did a survey last year. We've seen the incidences of Goss's wilt increasing in more of the rural municipalities than before. So we are finding newer rural municipalities positive for Goss's wilt as well. I would say it is spreading more.
So is it having a significant impact on corn yield?
Not yet. What we are seeing right now is mostly leaf blight symptoms. So like we have here, we have some leaf blight symptoms that shows up. And in case of leaf blight symptoms, it's mostly freckling that occurs on the leaf, water-soaked lesions that occur on the leaf that looks like freckles, and eventually the leaf just dies out. It is possible to get a transfer onto a stem, but we haven't seen any significant yield loss just yet. But it is possible to get a significant yield loss with Goss's wilt, especially if it infects systemically. Systemic infection would be very devastating to the corn yield. So what happens in case of systemic wilt is the plants get infected with Goss's wilt from within, and the plant basically dies off. We do have some plants here that looks like this right after infection, so basically nothing left off of this plant. So then you wouldn't expect much yield from these plants either, right?
So do we have systemic infections showing up in Manitoba?
Not yet. We do have some suspect plants that we're looking at, but we haven't seen anything concrete yet. So it's mostly leaf blight symptoms that is appearing in Manitoba. And when it does, it appears around late August and early September. It starts to show up more. Usually right after a huge hail event, or if we had a lot of sandblasting or wind injury to our corn crop, then that's when it shows up more.
So what are the key steps they can take to prevent or try to minimize the chances of getting it?
Yeah, so with management for Goss's wilt, it is a bacterial disease, and a lot of the times we get asked if they can spray something for it, but unfortunately no fungicides will work against it just because it's bacterial. There are a few things that you can do before you get Goss's wilt, and they are growing some of the tolerant varieties that are available in the market, and crop rotation, obviously. So rotating it with other crops in between, just like you would do for clubroot, would be quite useful because Goss's wilt does survive on corn stubble, and if there is a lot of corn stubble in the field, then it is likely that you may have you may contract an infection in those fields. So is dairy situation where you have silage potentially year on year, is that high risk? Yeah, we have found it on silage and grain corn both, and particularly in dairy country where they put up silage corn year after year, it's bad in those areas, just because you're adding more amount of stubble to it, plus you're giving more opportunity for pathogen to infect the host crop as well. And there are some weed hosts to Goss's wilt as well. We don't know the full range of the weed hosts, but there are some common ones that we need to be on the lookout for as well.
So where do you see this in 3-5 years from now? Do you see it becoming a much more significant problem, or can producers manage it?
Not a huge epidemic issue, but then if we do keep growing corn after corn, then definitely, most definitely, it will get worse because then you're only adding more inoculum to your field and just giving that opportunity to pathogen to flourish in those fields, right? So it's always good to rotate with something else and grow something else.
All right. Thanks for your time again, Pradasara.
Well, thank you.